Oh, hi there, everyone. Welcome to a special edition of Cardwell's Cauldron here. I'm Cardwell.
And I'm Kevin.
And here, today on Geektopia Island, we're actually going to go through the review set of Ravnica Allegiance. It's that time again. Everyone's super excited. And now, how the review goes is what we usually do. It's like, is it spectacular? Is it good for standard, limited, or just get it out of here because it's worthless?
Yeah.
And EDH and all the other stuff. And also, every time a set review comes out, we do basically a giveaway for the pre-release kits. That way, if you do a pre-release, you get a little kit of a certain guild. We're gonna give one away. Unfortunately, we don't have the power yet to actually pick a guild that you want. But in order to enter, go ahead and watch the video, and we'll tell you at the end of the video. That, Kevin, let's do this.
Let's do it.
It's another big set. They went ahead and changed their mind for the 50th time of like big, small, just one set. You know, who cares?
Yeah.
Wizards has no idea what they're doing, but hopefully it's getting better. Let's do this. The first one in white. Oh, also, that just reminded me, the timestamps will be down below of what color you want. So if you don't care for white, you go straight to blue. If you care for blue, you probably want white, but so on and so on.
Yeah.
Especially there's a lot of multicolored cards in this set. And the first one, again, is Angel of Grace. 3, 2 white, 5/4 mythic. It has flash. It's an angel, flying. Enters the battlefield until in a turn, damage that would reduce your life to a total of 1 less than 1 reduces to 1 instead. It's basically the split card from Time Spiral. And then you can pay 4 to exile Angel of Grace from your graveyard. You gain, your life total becomes 10. This card's insane.
Yeah, this card is really good.
It's really good. Especially now you can play multiple color angel decks because all the shock lands are back. Spoiler alert. But yeah, this card's ridiculous for 5 mana.
Yeah, for what it is, being a creature, being a big body as Flash is really strong.
The fact that they Alpha Strike, you flash her in, she's 5 power for flying, and then if you play a Liar after that, you just win because you gain so much life.
Yeah, she's definitely a limited bomb, probably going to be used in Standard.
Yes.
And she'll probably see play in Commander, honestly.
Definitely.
Next up is Angelic Exaltation. 4 mana enchantment, and it's whenever a creature you control attacks alone, it gets +X/+X until the end of turn, where X is the number of creatures you control.
Which is really weird. They brought back Exalted in this way.
But not Exalted.
But not, yeah. It's weird. Yeah. Maybe in Limited when you have one good creature and all small tiny dudes, because there are some tokens here that it'll win you the game. But that's about it. Next one, Archway Angel. 5/1. Flying 3/4 angel. When it enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life for each gate you control. It's definitely limited. I wouldn't say it's a bomb or anything, but it's a filler card.
Yeah, it's a good limited card.
Yeah.
Next up is Arrestor's Zeal. 1 white for an instant. Target creature gets +2/+2 until the end of turn. An addendum, which is if you cast a spell during your main phase, that creature gains flying until the end of turn as well.
Yep. And addendum, of course, is the keyword of the Azorius Guild. And it's basically you cast an instance on your turn, it does something special. Or a replacement effect. But yeah, we'll get through those as well.
I honestly think that card's just like a limited card.
Yeah.
I don't like combat tricks like that personally, but that's me.
It's maybe a one of in limited. I wouldn't go overboard. This one, Bring to Trial. 3, which is good, sorcery. Exile target creature with power 4 or greater. It's a great limited card.
Yeah, it's one of the most... Like, that card is so good and limited, it's ridiculous. They printed it multiple times in different forms, but it's just the same kind of card. It's
definitely first pick in your second pack if you draft, but it's definitely worth grabbing.
Next up is the Civic Stalwart. 4 mana for a 3/3 Elephant Soldier. Whenever he enters the battlefield, creatures you control get +1/+1. He's kind of a limited finisher.
Yeah.
I mean, he's kind of a bomb. He's not big like a bomb, but his ability is good enough to be a bomb.
Exactly. It always changes the tide of battle in limited when you just plop something down like this.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's a giant elephant with armor on, that's pretty scary. Concordia Pegasus. 1/1 white. Flying 1/3. Just good limited.
Yep. Good little flying dude. Next up is Exposed to Daylight. A white and 2 instant. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. Scry 1.
Could be great sideboard. It depends on like where the meta goes, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's about it. Foreboding Spirit, though, 1 and 2 white, 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, until your next turn, creatures can't attack you or planeswalker you control, unless the controller pays 2 more for each of those creatures. I really enjoy this card. I want to see it in Standard because there's so many like bounce effects showing up here lately. And the fact that if you can just keep playing this dude, it'd be silly.
Okay, so once he enters play, okay.
Yeah. Not just sitting there.
Yeah.
Because if you have Bayard, which is the 4-drop from Dominaria or whatever,
Yeah.
and this guy, it's like pay 3 for each time you want to attack.
Yeah, this dude's pretty good. He's good. Like you said, he's going to be he'll be a solid sideboard card for sure.
Yeah.
He's going to be good in limited, though, for don't attack.
Yeah. The fact that he's a 3/3 for 3, too, as well with that, don't block me this turn, bro.
Next up is the Hazda Officer. 3 mana for a 3/2 human soldier. When he enters the battlefield, target creature you control gets +1/+1 until the end of turn. He's okay in limited. That's really where he's going to be at.
Yeah. But this guy, Hero of the Precinct 1, 1 and 1 white. Whenever you cast a multicolored spell, create a 1/1 white human creature token. It's a 2/2. It's really weird, the fact that it creates 1/1 just white human tokens, and you have to throw it in a multicolored deck. But I just saw this guy in action on through different videos, and it is strong. Believe me. Like, if you put this in an Abzan creature deck, it's good.
That dude seems pretty silly.
Yeah.
Because you're just making dudes all the time.
Yeah, just constant. Like, what, Pyromancer is a modern card? Where you cast an instant sorcerer and you get a 1/1 elemental token. Basically, almost the same thing, just in white.
Yeah, this dude's definitely going to be a constructed card, like a standard card, more so than limited. He'll be good in limited, but standard is his place.
Oh, yeah.
Next up is Impassioned Orator. 2 mana for a 2/2. When he enters the battlefield, you gain a life. Or no, when another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you gain a life.
Yeah.
So he gets better off of creatures coming in, and that he'll be good in limited. That's really about where he'll be at.
Yeah, especially with the Warzov keyword, where once a dude dies, you get another creature token. So just gaining life constantly. The next one, Justicer's Portal. 1 and 1 white, instant. Exile target creature you control. Then return that creature to the battlefield under its owner's control. It gains first strike until end of turn. I super love this card, and I will use it in standard because I think it's ridiculously good.
Yeah, this card's awesome.
Yeah.
It just is, because any kind of blink effect has always been pretty strong, but this one giving it first strike as well is kind of silly.
Yeah, and I'll wait for 2. So, yeah, it's definitely good and limited for combat track because first strike come in. But with so many enter the play effects in standard right now, like Ravenous Chupacabra comes in, kills your dude again, first strike kills the small dude.
Yeah. Next up is Knight of Sorrows. He's 5 mana for a 3/3 human knight, and he can block an additional creature each turn, and he has Afterlife 1, which that is the Orzhov mechanic, and it is when this creature dies, you create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature with flying. And that's essentially, like, Afterlife can change, and you get that power toughness of that number. You can get like a 2/2 or 1/1.
No, it's how many tokens are actually produced.
Oh, okay. Sorry. It's been a minute since I've seen them, but this dude's awesome.
Yeah. A great limited. I'm sad that it's a 3/3 for 5 and not like a 3/4 or something. But the fact that it stops 2 dudes from killing you and it replaces itself with a flyer, pretty good limited. The next one, Lumbering Battlement. I love this stupid card. 4 and a white. Vigilance 4/5, good stats. When it enters the battlefield, exile any number of non-token creatures you control until it leaves the battlefield. Lumbering Battlement gets +2/+2 for each card exiled with it. It's stupid. It's stupid, and I love it. Because when you know you're playing against control and they're going to board wipe, you just be like, alright, save all my dudes, and now I have, 11-12 or whatever. Or I guess it would be even, so a 12-13. And then it's just like crashing in every time. You just swing it in.
That dude is pretty funny.
And then once he dies, all your dudes with it enter the battle effects trigger all again.
Next up is the Ministrant of Obligation. 3 mana for a 2/1 with Afterlife 2, which, like Cardwell stated, is you get 2 1/1 dudes with flying when he dies.
This card's really good and limited, especially.
He's super good and limited because he replaces himself. He's kind of like a Lingering Souls, which is really good.
Yeah, because you will immediately snap block this guy to kill one of their smaller dudes. Or even trade up, and then you get 2 flyers for 3.
Yeah.
The next one, Prowling Caracol. 1 and 1 white, 3/1 blade creature. That's all it is.
Yeah, I mean, this is also a reprint, kind of.
Kind of, yeah.
They will always make 2 mana 3/1s with no abilities. They've done it multiple times.
Almost in every set now, recently. Yeah. It's ridiculous.
He's still good, but he's only like a limited card.
Yeah.
Next up is Rally to Battle. 4 mana for an instant. Creatures you control get +1/+3 until the end of turn and untap them.
It's a good defensive card. I would maybe run one in limited, but that's about it.
Yeah, that's only
kinda,
limited kind of.
Kind of really bad. The next one, Resolute Watchdog. 1 white for 1/3, which is good, but it has Defender. Pay 1, sacrifice Resolute Watchdog. Just target creature you control gains indestructible in a turn. I can see this being silly in standard, but not really used. Limited, pretty fun if you have a big bomb you want to protect. I heard the joke going around is like, no one wants to sacrifice this dog because he's a good dog and he's pretty. And why would you want to kill your own dog to save yourself?
He's a good doggo.
Yep, a very good doggo.
But yeah, I think if anything, in standard, he'd be sideboard.
Yeah.
Next up is Sentinel's Mark. 2 mana for an enchantment, aura, flash. Enchanted creature gets +1/+2 and has vigilance. And addendum, which is if you cast it during your turn or during your main phase, enchanted creature gains lifelink. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, just a silly limited card. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, it really did. I don't see it doing much else, but it's limited pretty good.
Yeah, if any turn, you could just cast it at the end of the turn, and then just have a big dude with vigilance going at you. The next one, Sky Tether for 1 white enchant creature. Creature has Defender and loses flying. It's good limited to control those big dudes flying. It's sad it doesn't reduce their damage or anything, but it makes it where you don't get hit by them.
Yeah, I really do like this card just for limited, just because you're like, hey, get out of my way.
Yeah.
Next up is Smothering Tithe. 4 mana for an enchantment. When an opponent draws a card, that player may pay 2. If the player doesn't, you create a colorless artifact, or a treasure token, essentially, that you can sack to add a mana of any color.
So, I love this card. I'm going to say that a lot, because there's a lot of powerful cards that are ridiculously bad that I love.
Yeah.
I'm going to use this in sideboard for white against control for sure. Because if you're able to stick this down and then just like, okay, draw as many cards as you want, but I get as many treasure tokens as I want too. So you can out mana them pretty much.
I mean, if you've ever played against a Ristic Study in Commander, you know how annoying it is to be like, are you going to draw? Are you going to pay for that?
Yeah, you're going to pay for that?
Are you going to pay for that? Are you going to pay for that?
No, I'm going to draw. That's cool.
And this way you just get free mana.
Yeah, exactly. And there's so many good 4-drop enchantments nowadays. It makes me cry.
Yeah, this one will be used in in the right control deck in Standard, but
I would say even a good creature deck in Standard too.
Yeah, I don't really see it doing a lot in Limited though, honestly, because it's not really built around Limited.
Yeah, you don't need mana ramp that much in Limited at all. The next one, Spear of the Spires. 3/1, flying. Other creatures you control with flying get +0/+1, 2/4. It's okay limited. I mean, there's a talk of blue-white flyers with favorable winds. Those clouds are spicy. Being +1/+1 and then playing this, but meh, I wouldn't deal with it.
Next up is Summary Judgment. 2 mana instant. It deals 3 damage to target tapped creature. Addendum, if you cast a spell during your main phase, it deals 5 damage to that creature instead. I actually really like this card in Limited, just because it is a really good kill spell in Limited.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh, that dude's big, kill it. That dude's little, kill it as an instant.
Exactly.
I like this card a lot.
I like it a lot for Limited too. That's about it. Syndicate Messenger is the next one. 3/1 flying. It's a 2/3 flyer. Afterlife 1, I think is a good pick for Limited. Because there's a lot of flyers in this set, and to be able to replace itself with another flyer for 4, that's good. I like that a lot.
Next up is 10th District Veteran. 3 mana for a 2/3 with Vigilance. When it attacks, untap another target creature you control.
Huh.
Dude's pretty cool for Limited. I like him a lot. I think he could be really good in Standard in a White Weenie deck.
I agree. Like, I can see it in a White Weenie.
I don't see him being very mini of one in a White Weenie deck, but it's pretty good.
Yeah. Especially, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, definitely. I feel like that card has some potential. The stats are good for the mana cost. It has Vigilance, and it has an awesome ability to it.
Yeah.
It should be an uncommon, to be honest, for how many things there. The next one, Tithe Taker, the star, like the white card star here. 1 in white. During your turn, spells your opponents cast cost 1 more to cast, and abilities your opponents activate cost 1 more to activate unless they're mana abilities. Afterlife 1, which it dies, you get a 1/1 flying, and it's a 2/1 for 2. This card is great. It's going to be used, and I would buy your playset as fast as possible.
Yeah. This dude's going to be good in Standard. He'll be really, really good in older formats like Legacy and Modern. Just because he's like, hey, you're doing things on my turn?
Yep.
No, don't do that.
your turn 4, you're going to play Chemist's Insight? No, you're not. You're going to try to do Search for Ascanta? Well, you better pay 1 more for it. This card is ridiculously good.
Yeah, he's going to stop a lot of things.
Yeah.
Next up is the Twilight Panther. It is a 1/2 for 1 mana. You pay a black. Twilight Panther gains Death Touch until the end of turn. And it's kind of adorable.
Yeah, it is actually. And great limited card.
Yeah, super good limited.
Next one, Unbreakable Formation. 2 and white. Instant. Creatures you control gain indestructible in a turn. But if you have Addendum, if you want to win more, pretty much, you cast a spell during your main phase, put a 1/1 counter on each of those creatures, and they gain Vigilance until end of turn. This will definitely replace Make a Stand, which is what I use in sideboard all the time against board wipes. And now this is just perfect. Like, this is a great replacement for going against control.
Yeah, because you can force it to save your dudes, or if you're like, hey, I want to win right now,
yeah,
make my dudes big.
Be like, who's going to Alpha Strike first? Well, this will help you Alpha Strike first for sure.
And the final card in white is the Watchful Giant. He's 6 mana for a 3/6. When he enters the battlefield, you create a 1/1 white human token.
Yeah.
It's a cool limited card because
Yeah.
he brings a buddy with him.
Yeah.
But I don't really think he's going to do anything else. He's just there to be a limited dude.
He really isn't. I agree. Alright, and that's in the white. We'll go ahead and jump into blue next. And the first card is Arrester's Admonition. 2 and a blue. Instant. Return target creature to its owner's hand. And then Addendum. If you cast a spell during your main phase, draw a card. It's just really good limited.
Yeah,
Definitely
I
use
think
this
that's
in
really
limited.
about it. I think it's a little overpriced, but it's good for what it does.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up is the Benthic Biomancer. 1 blue for a 1/1. And he's got Adapt 1, which you can pay a blue and 1 to do. And Adapt is the Simic keyword.
Yep.
If this creature has no 1/1 counters on it, put a 1/1 counter on it. And when 1 or more is put on this dude, you draw a card, then discard a card. This dude is actually really cool.
Yeah, he's good. The number one thing of what he is a merfolk. And with Deep-Rooted Champion or whatever, basically whenever you cast a merfolk, put a 1/1 counter on a merfolk. So if you just keep putting 1/1 counters on this guy, you keep discarding. You keep looting, pretty much. So, like, I don't know. He can be good. I don't like him, his base stats at all. Like,
I think he's a really good 1-drop, honestly, because turn 2 he can be a 2/2,
Yeah.
which is the same time you're going to be swinging.
and then you draw and discard a card.
Yeah.
So,
I think he's worth it. And also he's Simic, and the best thing about Simic is he's a Merfolk Wizard Mutant.
yeah. Oh, we'll be going through all of those for sure.
Because Simic's all about let's put as many random things together as we can, and that's what's awesome.
Their experimentation has gone wild.
Yeah.
The next one, Chillbringer, costs 5, 4 and a blue. Flying 3/3, enters the battlefield, tap target creature opponent controls. It doesn't untap during the controller's next untap step. If Frost Breaths when it comes into play, it's a 3/3 flyer. It's good and limited.
Yeah, it's really just a limited cred. Yep. Next up is Clear the Mind. 3 mana for a sorcery. Target player shuffles their graveyard into their library. Draw a card.
Makes me sad there's a card like this because if Mill gets busy, this thing will hurt. But
Yeah.
man, I don't. Man, this card's man. I actually wouldn't even use it in limited, to be honest.
No.
Code of Constraint. 2 and a blue, instant. Target creature gets -4/-4 until end of turn. Draw a card. And then Addendum. Cast on main phase, tap target creature, and it does untap during its controller's next untap step. This is way better than the other card we just talked about because it literally stops a dude from attacking next turn, and you draw a card.
It's pretty silly.
Yeah, it's really silly. I like the art. It's
Yeah.
really...
Next up is a Coral Commando. 3 mana for a 3/2 Merfolk Warrior. And he's just going to get there. He a limited dude.
He's
That's
a coral.
really it.
He's a coral commando. I mean, it's a 3/2 in blue, which is silly. The next one, Essence Capture. 2 blue, instant. Counter target creature spell. Put a 1/1 counter up to 1 target creature this turn. Instead of Essence Scatter, it's Essence Capture. It does the same thing, but better.
Yeah, it just does it better.
It's just going to replace that sideboard card if you run creatures.
Next up is Eyes Everywhere. 3 mana for an enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1, and you can pay 6, exchange control of this, and target non-land permanent. Activate this ability only one when you can cast a sorcery.
I don't know about this card. I think it's a sleeper sideboard card of some sort.
I actually kind of like it in the like hard control, just because it gives you scry 1 every turn, like a Thalassa did.
Yeah.
And then when they play something cool, you're just like, I want that.
Yeah. And the fact that the players, they get it, they get the ability to exchange again, but if they're not playing blue, they can't do it.
Yeah.
So if they're playing a Galta and you're like, well, give me that Galta real quick, then that's it. It's yours forever. They can't do anything about that.
Yeah, the card's pretty silly.
Yeah, it's silly. The next one, Fairy Duelist. 1 in a blue. It's a fairy rogue, flash flying. Whenever a duelist enters the battlefield, target creature opponent controls gets -2/-0 until end of turn. I actually didn't even see this card before.
I kind of like him.
I like him. He's limited for sure.
Yeah. Next up is a Gateway Sneak. 3 mana for a 1/3. He enters the battlefield under your control. He can't be blocked this turn, and when he deals damage to a player, draw a card.
So he's okay. I'm sure there's going to be some wild deck or a gate deck out there for limited, but we'll see how that works. Homunculus. It's 4 in a blue. He has hexproof 2/5.
Cool little limited dude.
Yeah, cool little limited dude. See how that goes.
Next up is Mass Manipulation. XX blue. Gain control of X target creatures and/or planeswalkers. So I mean, this card is very expensive, but it's actually kind of cool because for 6 mana you can take a planeswalker.
Yeah,
it's just pretty neat, but it's not really.
You can take their Teferi if need be, but
I mean, it's not the best, but it's okay.
EDH, it's gonna be really fun.
Yeah,
because it's X target creatures, so you can go throughout the whole board grabbing whatever you want. So yeah, pretty fun. The next one, Mesmerizing Benthid. 3 and 2 blue. It's an octopus. When it enters the battlefield, create 2/0/2 blue illusion creature tokens. Whenever this creature blocks a creature, that creature doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step. And it has hexproof as long as you control an illusion. I don't know about this guy. I like him because he's silly, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I actually kind of think he's a pretty good beater for blue.
Yeah.
Just because he is hard to deal with as long as you have an illusion.
Yeah.
And he's a 4/5 body. It's pretty strong.
Yeah, 4/5 body for 5, and you get 2 other blockers that stops them. Yeah, it's pretty unique.
Next up is the Persistent Petitioners. 2 mana for a 1/3. You can pay 1, tap, target player puts the top card of their library into the graveyard. Tap 4 advisors you control, target player puts the top 12. A deck can have any number of cards named Persistent Petitioners.
We're going to run this. It's mill. I'm going to make a mill deck for sure for this guy. It's just silly. Especially with Drowned Secrets, whenever you play a blue spell, they mill 2, and these guys are all blue, and you're just like, mill 2, and then tap. And I do believe, don't quote me, but I'm pretty sure, tap 4 untap advisors you control is not an activated ability. It's not a tap activated ability as with the symbol, so you can do it as soon as you play your 4th one.
Yeah.
So therefore, it's just an ability, so you can do it. It doesn't have to have summoning signets or whatever to trigger. Alright, the next one, Precognitive Perception. 3, 2 blue, instant, draw 3 cards. Addendum, if you do it, of course, on your main phase, you scry 3 and then draw 3 cards.
Card's pretty good as Addendum.
Yeah, as Addendum, it's pretty good. As a rare, it's kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it's okay. It may be C play, but I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not a full range control player, so I don't know if this is actually good or not. To me, meh.
Yeah.
We'll see. With the new enchantment we get too, super good.
Next up is Prying Eyes. 6 mana instant, draw 4, then discard 2. This card I think is really, really overpriced, so I don't think it's going to see a lot of play.
Yeah.
I could, but if anything, it's going to be like a one of at all. If even at all.
One of limited. Like if it was discard 1, good. But 2, what, Terramander? Terramander, yeah. 1 blue, it's a Salamander Drake. Flying creature, 1/1. You can pay 8 to adapt 4. This ability costs 1 less to activate for each instance of sorcery card in your graveyard. It's going to be a fun limited card.
Yeah, for sure. Next up is cool.
Sorry. I don't know. If you play this in a Drake's deck, it is a Drake.
Yeah.
It's going to be way less for a 5/5 flyer for 1.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It could be C play.
It could be C play in standard.
But next up is Quench. 2 mana for an instant. Counter target spell unless this controller plays 2. This card is really good in standard. I don't see it do much in limited, but it's really good in standard.
Yeah, it's going to be extremely annoying. Now there's Syncopate and Quench.
Yeah.
To be a mid-range player to try to throw down a dude to advance the board, it's going to be extremely hard.
Yeah.
Alright, Sage Rose Savant. 1 in a blue, 2/1. When it enters the battlefield, scry 2. Just good limited.
Yeah, he's going to be good limited. He'd be pretty cool in standard.
Yeah.
Next up is the Cynic Courier. 3 mana for a 1/4 flyer. You can pay a white and a blue, or white and 1, and he gains vigilance till end of turn. This dude's really cool and limited.
I think so. A good 1/4 is just
Yeah.
solid. Shimmer of Possibility. 1 in a blue, sorcery. Look at the top 4 cards of your library, put one in your hand, the rest in random order, the bottom of your library. There's been multiple cards like this that do the same thing, and I don't know. I kind of like it. I don't know if we'll see standard play, but I like it.
Yeah, we'll see. Next up is a Skatewing Spy. 4 mana for a 2/3. He's a Vidalcan Rogue Mutant, and he's got Adapt 2 for 6 mana, which puts 2 counters on it if there's none. And each creature you control with a 1/1 counter on it has flying.
This guy, just the fact of limited of your dudes having counters on him, give him flying is great.
Yeah.
You don't even need to adapt him at that point.
Yeah.
Skitter Eel, 3 in a blue, Fish Crab. 2 blue, adapt 2. He's a 3/3, so he comes... See, this is perfect. So he's a 4, 3/3, and then for 3 more mana, he's a 5/5.
Yeah, that dude's pretty good.
Good limited.
Next up is Slimebind. 2 mana for a flash enchantment, which enchanted creature gets -4/-0.
I like the art.
I think it's a bad card.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. It's art, but it's really bad.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it in limited at all.
Yeah.
Sphinx of Foresight. 2 and 2 blue. You may reveal this card from your opening hand. If you do, scry 3 at the beginning of your first upkeep. Flying. At the beginning of your upkeep, scry 1. It's a 4/4. This guy has made ripples in the Magic community. I am actually for him a lot.
Yeah, this dude's pretty strong.
This guy could be in the moment of you go down to 6 or 5, having 2 in your hand with no land, and you have the possibility of looking at your first 6 cards. And I would keep that. I would keep that, especially if you're on the draw. Because you're like, okay, I'm going to need to set up all my lands that I can, and then go for it.
Yeah, he's pretty silly.
That's how powerful I think this guy is. So I am buying into the hype for sure.
Next up is Swirling Torrent. 6 mana for his sorcery. Choose one or both. Put target creature on top of its owner's library, or return target creature to its owner's hand. This card's going to be fantastic and limited,
Yes.
and it could be like a sideboard card, but I kind of doubt it in standard.
Yeah, no, but I agree. Extremely good and limited. Thought Collapse. 1 and 2 blue. Instant. Counter target spell. Its controller puts the top 3 cards of his library into the graveyard. Thank you.
That's pretty good.
It's pretty good. And I like the art of Ral having his mind blown.
Yeah. Next up is Verity Circle. 3 mana for an enchantment. Whenever a creature an opponent controls becomes tapped, if it isn't being declared as an attacker, you may draw a card. Pay 5, tap target creature without flying.
I really like this card. EDH, it's going to be spectacular.
Yeah, it's going to be silly in EDH.
There's so many like mana dorks and stuff that people tap and just...
But I mean, it does make Convoke think twice about doing Convoke.
Yeah, this whole set really stops Convoke at all. Like, it stops Selesnya really hard.
Yeah, it's pretty silly.
Wall of Lost Thoughts. 1 in a blue. Defenders 0/4. Enters the battlefield. Target player puts the top 4 cards of their library into the graveyard. Hey, Mill.
Yeah,
I like it.
It's really good. Last up in blue is the Windstorm Drake. 5 mana for a 3/3 flyer. Other creatures with flying get +1/+up.
Now, this one's way better than the other one we talked about, I think.
Yeah, this one's pretty good. He's still going to be more or less a limited bomb, but he's really, really good.
Yeah. All right, and that's it with the blue. We'll go straight into the black. And the first one is actually kind of cool. Awaken the Ertzwile. 3 and 2 black. Each player discards all their cards in their hand, then creates that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens. It's just extremely silly. But when you're in a pinch against aggro by turn 5, you kind of... Because they might not have a hand. But you're just like, okay, ditch my hand. I have 5 2/2 zombies. Thanks.
That's pretty sweet.
It might help you stop because you're a control player. Because you know you're going to draw more cards than they are later on.
Yeah.
So...
Next up is Bankrupt in Blood. 2 mana sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice 2 creatures, draw 3 cards. The artwork is amazing.
Yes.
The card I don't think is.
Nope.
But I like the artwork a lot.
Agreed. The artwork is insanely good. Next one, Blade Juggler. 4 and a black. 3/2. When it enters the battlefield, deal 1 damage to you and you draw a card. But it has the Rakdos keyword on it. Spectacle. 2 and a black. So the spectacle cost makes this worth it because you pay 3, comes into play 3/2, draw a card, take 1.
What is Spectacle?
Spectacle, thank you. You may cast this for a spectacle cost rather than its mana cost if an opponent lost life this turn. Lost life, they named it that way just in case, any way their life changes to go down, you get to cast it for the cost.
I like it.
Yeah.
Next up is Blade Brand. 2 mana instant. Target creature gains death touch until the end of turn. Draw a card.
Huh.
It's pretty cool combat trick. I think it's only going to be like a limited card,
Yeah.
but it's really, that's about it.
The fact that it's a cantrip, it draws you a card while you kill a dude, it's really good. The next one, Blood Mist Infiltrator. 2 and a black, 3/1 vampire. When it attacks, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, Blood Mist Infiltrator can't be blocked this turn. Limited
Yeah,
to
really.
get there, but not great.
Next up is a Carrion Imp. 4 mana for a 2/3 flyer. When it comes into play, you may exile target creature from a graveyard. If you do, draw 2. You're gained 2 life.
He's just a cute little guy.
He's pretty sweet. I like him in limited. He's really cool.
Definitely.
He's not going to do much else, though.
No. The next one is Catacomb Crocodile. 4 and a black. It's a 3/7 for 5. It's going to really hold back every creature in limited.
Yeah.
It's just good. I would pick this guy a lot.
Yeah, he's a good 5-drop. Next up is Clear the Stage. 5 mana for an instant. Target creature gets -3/-3 until the end of turn. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you may return up to 1 creature card from your graveyard to your hand. This card's going to be pretty legit in limited.
Yes.
Because it's a kill spell that does something else for you.
Yeah.
But I think that might be its only place.
Agreed. It has too many stipulations. It doesn't go to the play or anything. It goes back to your hand. But yeah, limited. They killed your big dude. You can kill their little dude and get it back. Or any dude, I guess. Yeah. Consigned to the Pit. 5 and a black. Destroy target creature. Consigned to the Pit deals 2 damage to that creature's controller. Limited kill. It's just typical.
Yeah. Next up is Cry of the Carnarium. 3 mana for a sorcery. All creatures get -2/-2 until the end of turn. Exile all creature cards in all graveyards that were put there from battle this turn, and if a creature would die this turn, exile it instead. This card's actually really good just because it stops a whole lot of graveyard shenanigans.
Yep.
And it's a board wipe. So you're like, all your dudes get dead, all your dudes go away forever.
Yes. And this can... That's why the last sentence is there, just in case you have to burn that extra dude off. And then it gets exiled as well. So it's kind of a weird, long-winded statement of, like, everything just goes to the graveyard.
Yeah.
The next one, Dead Revels. 3 and a black. Spectacle of 2, 1 and a black. Return up to 2 target creature cards from the graveyard to your hand. So you swing out, 1 damage goes through, 2 creatures die, you can get those creatures for 2 back in your hand.
Yeah.
It's good limited.
It's really just it in limited.
Yeah.
Next up is Debtor's Transport. 6 mana for a 5/3 Thrall and Afterlife 2. So you get 2 1/1 dudes.
It can be good.
It's cool.
I feel sorry for these stupid monsters that these thralls that they pull around. Ravnica always had these dumb looking mounts.
Yeah, I love the little goofy things though.
Yeah, me too.
But it's definitely just a limited card.
Oh yeah. Next one, Drill Bit. 2 and a black, Spectacle black, which is amazing. Target player reveals their hand. You choose a non-land card from it. That player discards that card. It's almost a Thought Seize when you deal them damage. It's really good.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Next up is Fawn of Agonies. 1 black enchantment. Whenever you pay life, you put that many blood counters on this. Pay 2, remove 4 blood counters from this, destroy target creature. So this card I've actually seen a lot of people talk about in older formats like Modern and Legacy, just because you get to do a lot of silly stuff with paying life, and then it gives you a better way to just kill it, dude. I like this card a lot. I don't know how good it's going to do in Standard, but I like the idea of this card.
Like, if you're going long control and you have Argyl's Bloodfast, then it can be getting really ridiculous because you're paying 2 life, draw a card, and then you can pay 2 later on to kill something. But yeah, who knows? It's kind of really weird. The next one, Grotesque Demise. 2 and a black. Exile target creature, power 3 or less, instant. It's just good limited.
Yeah, it's a really good limited card, for sure. Next up is Gutter Bones. 1 mana for a 2/1 that enters the battlefield tapped. It's a Skeleton Warrior.
Skeleton Warrior, yeah!
You pay 2, and you can return it from the graveyard to your hand. Activate this ability only during your turn and only if your opponent lost life this turn. He's cool. He's not that cool, though, because he's got a lot of stipulations to get him back.
And it goes to your hand, not to the battlefield.
But, I mean, he's okay if you need to just do other stuff with him.
If they can make him not come into play tapped, he would be way better. But the fact that he goes to your hand and not into the battlefield, it's just too much. Too much. Ill-Gotten Inheritance. 3 and a black enchantment. At the beginning of your upkeep, Ill-Gotten Inheritance deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life. You can pay 5 to sacrifice it, deal 4 damage to target opponent, and you gain 4 life. I really enjoy bleeder cards, so I like this just inherently. But it's maybe limited, maybe not even that.
Yeah.
I mean, it bleeds. I like it.
I like the throwback to Ill-Gotten Gains, so I'm proud of them on that.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Next up is Noxious Grudion. 3 mana for a 2/2 beast with Death Touch. This dude's pretty legit.
Yeah.
Limited.
Card. Any 3-drop Death Touch is super good. Limited. Orzhov Enforcer. 1 and a black. Death Touch. Afterlife 1. 1/2. This guy is really damn good, and I think he'll see standard play if aggro, like hard 1-drop aggro comes into play.
Yeah. It's pretty silly.
Yeah.
Next up is the Orzhov Racketeers. 5 mana for a 3/2. When he deals combat damage to a player, that player discards a card, and he's got Afterlife 2.
I like him. Limited.
Yeah, he's limited only just because he costs 5.
Yeah.
He's really expensive. I mean, sure, you get to make him discard a card and get dudes, but it's still not really worth it.
Yeah. The fact that if you pay 5 and they shock it in standard, you're done. You're just
Yeah.
done. Speaking of shock, though, Pestilent Spirit. 2 and a black. He's a 3/2, Menace, and Death Touch. So if they block him, they're losing 2 dudes no matter what. Instant and sorcery spells you control have Death Touch.
Yeah, this dude is awesome.
This guy is so damn good.
Dude is fantastic because he makes anything that deals lots of damage, like Cosmotronic Wave.
Yeah.
That silly card that costs 4 and deals $1 dudes, and they can't block.
Yep.
They're all dead.
They definitely can't block. Yeah, because they're dead.
It's just silly because it gives all of your instants or sorceries Death Touch, and I mean, there's a lot that are really good.
Yeah. Or just shock. Just 1 shock to kill your Galta.
Yeah.
Zap. It's just insane.
Next up is Plague Rite. 2 mana for a 2/1. When it becomes blocked, each creature blocking it gets -1/-1 until the end of turn. He's pretty neat.
Yeah,
I don't
like
think
him.
he's gonna do more than anything in limited, but he's pretty cool.
Yep. Priest of the Forgotten Gods. 1 and a black. Tap, sacrifice 2 other creatures. Any number of target players each lose 2 life, and sacrifice a creature. You add 2 mana, draw a card. I love this card.
Yeah, this card's pretty sweet.
I love.
It does a lot. It does a lot of weird stuff,
does.
and it's fantastic.
Stipulation is high, but when you have Afterlife, and you sack dudes for more tokens to sack more dudes, and you draw a card, and you add 2 mana, and she just needs to tap, and you don't spend any mana to do it. And they sack like everything. This card does everything. I love it.
Yeah, it's gonna be really good in the right build and standard, but it's really, really good in limited.
There's definitely going to be Aristocrats deck somewhere, and I can't wait to build it.
Next up is Rakdos Trumpeter. 2 mana for a 1/3 with Menace, and you pay a red and 3, and he gains +2/+7 until the end of turn.
Man.
He's a cool limited card.
Yeah, he's
That's
really good.
Really about it.
Really good limited card. All right, this insane demon here, Spawn of Mayhem. 2 and 2 black. He has a spectacle cost of 1 and 2 black. So by turn 3, you probably will be able to do damage as an aggro player to drop him down. He's a flying trample 4/4. At the beginning of your upkeep, he deals 1 damage to each player, so you and your opponent. Then if you have 10 or less life, put a 1/1 counter on Spawn of Mayhem. Is to even it out of swinging in for more damage.
Yeah.
This card's insane.
Yeah, this dude's pretty silly. He does a lot.
I wanted to pre-order him, but he's like $16. I just want him. He's really good.
He's going to be very good in Constructed because he's, even at just 4 mana, like, I will take damage every turn and have a 4/4 flyer.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose that race.
Yeah. And if you're playing against control, hopefully you're just pinging them away. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Next up is the Spire Mangler. 3 mana for a 2/1 flash flying insect. Whenever it enters the battlefield, target creature with flying gets +2/+7. That's neat.
Yeah, so it can be a 4/1 blocker to kill whatever you need to kill.
Yeah, I like it for limited. That's really about it, though.
Yep, and I wouldn't want to live in a city with that thing flying around.
Yeah.
Jesus. Thirsting Shade, 1 black, lifelink. You pay 3, it gets +1/+1 until end of turn. That's good. It's a 1/1 little dude. Good limited.
Next up is Undercity Scavenger. 4 mana for a 3/3. When it enters the battlefield, you may sacrifice another creature. If you do, put 2 1/1 counters on him, then scry 2.
I like this guy a lot for limited.
For limited, I like him. Otherwise, I don't think he's good.
Because, like, if you have a small creature, he's a 5/5 for 4, and you scry 2. Pretty good. Under City's Embrace, 2 and a black, instant. Target opponent sacrifices a creature. If you control a creature with power 4 or greater, you gain 4 life. So it's like that command or whatever. Not Dramoka, but back in cons, there was a card where if you reveal a dragon card, you gain 4 life as they sacrifice it, dude. So it's pretty much the same thing. I like it.
I think it's really good and limited.
Yeah.
Next up is Vindictive Vampire. 4 mana for a 2/3. When another creature you control dies, it deals 1 damage to each opponent and you gain 1 life.
This is what's going to help aristocrats out for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I will see standard play in that type of thing. And with that is the end of the black cards. And we'll go ahead and get into the red. And the first card in red, of course, is Active Treason. It's a classic card. 2 in a red. Gain control of target creature until end of turn. Untap that creature. It gains haste. I love the art on it. It's just silly.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But it's classic. Limited.
Yeah. Next up is Amplifier. 4 mana for a 1/1 elemental. At the beginning of your upkeep, reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a creature. Until your next turn, Amplifier's base power becomes twice that card's power, and base toughness becomes twice that toughness. Put the revealed cards on the bottom of the library in random order.
I heard this is gonna make something in Modern, but I have no idea. It doesn't have Trample. If it had Trample, then maybe. But
This card's really cool. I like the idea.
Yeah.
I think it could be pretty good, but we'll have to just wait and see. I think it could be in standard, but I think it's mostly just limited.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what people think of this silly card. All right, the next one, Burn Bright, 2 and a red, instant. Creatures you control get +2/+0 until end of turn. And this replaces Trumpet Blast because Trumpet Blast only says attacking creatures. So they removed that confusing stipulation too.
Yeah. Next up is the Burning Tree Vandal. 3 mana for a 2/1, and he's got Riot, which is the Gruul mechanic, which this creature enters the battlefield with your choice of a 1/1 counter or haste. Mm-hmm. And when he attacks, you may discard a card. If you do, draw a card. This dude's really cool. He's like a limited card. It's really, really good.
Because if you need a draw, you just immediately plop him out there and swing.
Mm-hmm.
All right. What was it? The Cavalcade of Calamity? 2 and a red, enchantment. Whenever a creature you control with power 1 or less attacks, it deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker that creature is attacking. Like I said, if Rakdos low ground aggro comes into play, all 1-drops with 1 power, done. Or even Afterlife, if you do that color combination I can't think of right now. Red, black, white. All your 1/1 flying spirit tokens trigger this.
Yeah, it's pretty silly. Next up is a Clamor Shaman. 3 mana for a 1/1 with Riot. And he attacks target creature your opponent control can't block this turn. I hate the artwork.
Yeah, the artwork.
It looks awful.
It's silly.
In my opinion, but I like it. The cards, the idea is really cool, but I don't like the artwork.
And to be able to curve out and make sure nothing blocks when you swing is really good. Next one, Dagger Caster. 3 and a red for a Vashino Rogue. Enters the battlefield, deal 1 damage to each opponent and 1 damage to each creature your opponent controls. It's a 2/3. So basically a Goblin Chain Whirler, but for 4 and an uncommon.
Yeah.
That's weird. And it doesn't have first strike. But, whatever.
It's still really good. I think it's going to be a limited card mostly. Or an Afterlife killer.
Yeah.
Next up is Deface. 1 red sorcery. Choose 1. Destroy target artifact or destroy target creature with Defender. It's a really good sideboard card.
Yeah.
Is really what it's going to do.
Pretty much. Electro Dominance. X, red. It deals X damage to any target. You may cast a card with converted mana cost of X or less from your hand without paying its mana cost. It's an instant, and it's super good. Also get as many playsets as you can of this card, because it might do some work.
Yeah, this card's going to be really good in like every format ever.
Yeah.
Because it just does multiple things. It kills something and it gets your thing.
Yeah.
Card is amazing.
It is. It really is.
Next up is a Feral Maka. 2 mana for a 2/2 cat. He's just a vanilla dude that you need.
That's it. Flames of the Raise Boar. It's a 5 and red instant. It deals 4 damage to target creature opponent controls. Then it deals 2 damage to each other creature that player controls if you control a creature with power 4 or greater. I like this card. Well, in limited for sure, because
Yeah.
It's pretty cute. And it's not like they ripped this card off a Hearthstone or anything, but let's swipe.
I don't really think that card's that good.
Yeah. We'll see.
Next up is Gates Ablaze. 3 mana for a sorcery. Deals X damage to each creature where X is the number of gates you control.
Gate control.
So I actually think this card could be pretty strong. Just because in the right slow enough deck, it can be pretty wild.
Yeah.
But because you get to play a lot of gates early, and you also get that circuitous route from the last set that gets 2 gates into play.
Yeah.
So you're just like, cool, play that, kill all the things.
Yeah.
It's silly.
Pay 3 and I deal 5 damage to the board.
Yeah.
Gorkland Wrecker, 3 and a red. It also has Riot, and it also has Menace. So it can be a 2/2 haste Menace, or a 3/3 Menace in general for 4. That's really good limited.
Yeah, dude, it's really good limited. Next up is Goblin Gathering. 3 mana for a sorcery. Create a number of 1/1 red goblins equal to 2 plus the number of cards named Goblin Gathering in your graveyard.
This card's really cool.
I like the idea of this card. I think it's really just a limited card, but I like it a lot.
Yeah, but we will see. I would like to see a Goblin deck in Standard with this card. Alright, Gravelhide Goblin. He means business. It's a 1 and a red creature shaman, or Goblin Shaman. You can pay 3 and a green. He gets +2/+2 until end of turn. So, great limited.
Yeah. Next up is the Immolation Shaman. 2 mana for a 1/3. Whenever an opponent activates an ability of an artifact, creature, or land that isn't a mana ability, it deals 1 damage to that player. You can pay 5, and he gets +3/+3 and gains Menace.
I don't know how I feel about this guy. I feel like maybe in Modern or some other format he's just ridiculous, but in Standard right now, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really think there's a lot that he stops in Standard right now.
No, in Limited he could be just a bomb, just the fact that you can make him a 4/6 Menace?
Yeah.
Just in that in general. The next one, Light Up the Stage. 2 and a red. The first card we ever saw, I thought. It has Spectacle 1. Exile the top 2 cards of your library until the end of your next turn. That's the key word. You may play those cards. And that's also another keyword, play. So you can play lands off of it, and then you can cast whatever you can until the end of your next turn.
It's a pretty legit card.
I think it really is. It's an uncommon? I thought it was a rare. Jeez. That card's really good for an uncommon.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be in Limited, but it's really, really good in Standard.
Definitely in Standard.
Next card is Mirror March. 6 mana for an enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, flip a coin until you lose the flip. For each flip you won, create a token that's a copy of that creature. Those creatures' tokens gain haste. Exile them at the beginning of the next end step. This card is bad, but I love it. It's so bad, and I love every bit of it because it's terrible.
It's super terrible, but amazing at the same time. Yeah. It's
Because
silly.
you're like, I want to make 7 Knight of Autumns. And you get the ability to if you win right.
Yeah, if
luck's on your side, you're like, I get that many dudes.
like,
Swing.
Let's go for it.
And it's just silly. The card's just silly.
Alright. Rixmati Revealer. 1 and a red. It has a spectacle cost that is actually higher. It's 2 black and red. When it enters the battlefield, discard a card, then draw a card. If the spectacle cost was paid, instead discard your hand, then draw 3 cards. I've been seeing play of this card. It hasn't really been doing much, but for an aggro deck, you kind of, you draw this. It's the only thing in your hand, so you play it for its spectacle cost, hopefully. I don't know. I don't think it's that good.
Yeah, it'll be okay, but I don't really know how much it's going to do for you.
Yeah.
Next up is Rubble Reading. 4 mana for a sorcery. Destroy target land, scry 2.
They keep trying to do land destruction and no one's biting. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, it'll be neat and limited, but that's about it.
Yeah. Rubble Belt Recluse, 4 and red. Attacks each combat if able. It's a 6/5 for 5. Throwing that in limited deck for sure.
Yeah. Rumbling Runes, 6 mana for a 6/6. When it enters the battlefield, count the number of 1/1 counters on each creature you control. Creatures your opponents control with power less than or equal to that number can't block this turn. That card's awesome bomb in limited.
It really is.
He will win you the game in limited hard.
Because you're going to have a bunch of riot creatures and hopefully with counters on them. And then when you're going to win the game, you just plop this guy down and you win.
Or you can play blue, green, red, have a whole bunch of Simic dudes with counters and be like, done.
Right? Scorchmark, 1 and a red, instant. Deals 2 damage to target creature. If that creature would die this turn, exile it instead. We'll see how good it is in Standard. maybe sideboard.
Yeah, I think it's a sideboard card. Next up is Skargan Hillkite for 5 mana. It's a 4/4 flying with Riot. And you can pay 4 and it deals 2 damage divided as you choose among 2 targets. Or among 1 or 2 targets. Activate this ability only if he has a 1/1 counter on him.
So, I just dismissed this card when I first looked at it, but more I keep looking at it, I think it's going to be insane. Because you can have a 4/4 with haste, which is what sometimes you need. But if you have a 5/5, then you can pay 4 every turn to deal 2 damage to something. So it's essentially 7 damage, a turn.
I like that dude. He's pretty good.
Yeah, he is good. He will be really good. Alright, Skewer the Critics. 2 and a red. Spectacle 1. It deals 3 damage to any target. Sadly, it's a sorcery, but it's still a bolt. We have lots of bolts in Standard right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Yeah. Next up, we got Smelt Ward Ignis. 2 mana for a 2/1 elemental. You pay 3, sacrifice him, gain control of target creature with power 3 or less, untap it, it gains haste. Activates ability only when you play sorcery. So it's essentially an act of treason on a creature, which makes this dude actually really, really good in limited. Yeah. Like, super good. Because you can, early game, you can be like, take 2, take 2, take 2, until I can't get through, and then you're like, cool, give me that big dude.
Yeah, give me that dude, and swing.
This dude's awesome in limited. I think that's really where he's going to stay, though.
Agreed. Spewer. 1 red, defender, deals 1 damage to each player. 0/2. Insane spectacle initiator.
Yeah.
This guy is really good, and if there's a spectacle deck, he probably will be in it in a heartbeat.
Yeah, the dude's pretty silly for spectacle.
Yeah.
Next up is Spikewheel Acrobat. 4 mana for a 5/2 with Spectacle 3. This card's kind of bad.
It's kind of bad. The 2 defense. But if you get to play that Spectacle, it's okay. It's like a filler red card.
I mean, it's still bad.
For limited.
I don't like it.
Yeah. Storm Strike. 1 red, instant. Target creature gets +1 and gains first strike until end of turn. Scry 1. It's a cute little trick. That's it.
Yeah.
Man, it's a limited trick.
Next up, and the final red card is 10 Street Dodger. 1 red for a 1/1 haste. You pay a red, he can't be blocked this turn except by creatures with Defender.
This guy is really good.
Yeah, I like this dude because he just gets there. He's either a Raging Goblin or he's like, don't block me.
Exactly.
And well, I like it.
Yeah, it's both. And the art's super cute, and this guy is awesome.
Yeah, limited goodness, standard goodness.
Oh, yeah. Alright, that's the end of red. We'll go ahead and jump into green here. And the first one is good old vanilla Beast. X-Bane Beast. 3 and a green, 3/4. That's it.
I don't care. This dude's going to be awesome in limited.
Like, really
he's a really good statted limited card.
Agreed.
Next up is Biogenic Ooze. 5 mana for an ooze. For a 2/2. When it enters the battlefield, create a 2/2 ooze token. At the beginning of each end step, put a 1/1 counter on each ooze you control. Pay 4, create a 2/2 ooze token.
Oof. This guy, I love him.
Yeah, this dude's pretty silly.
And we're gonna go through. I'm gonna try to remember every mutated ooze creature jellyfish dude and see how many oozes are out there for this to happen.
Yeah, I like this dude a lot actually because he's 5 mana and you get total of 4 power.
Yeah. And
then every turn you just make him bigger.
Like end of turn, end of step. So you already get a 6/6 power for 5.
It's pretty good.
Or 6 power on the board. In bomb, he wins the game. Or in limited, he's a bomb that wins the game. Alright, Genetic Upgrade. 4 and 2 green, sorcery. Distribute 3 1/1 counters among 1, 2, 3 target creatures. Then double the number of 1/1 counters on each of those creatures. It's just limited silliness.
Yeah, that card is definitely a limited card.
Yeah.
But I feel sorry for whoever gets hit by that.
Yeah, exactly.
Next up is Endrace Forerunners. 8 mana for a 7/7 Vigilance Trample Haste Boar. And when it enters the battlefield, other creatures you control get +2/+2 and gain Vigilance and Trample until the turn. So this dude's a bomb in every shape, matter of the word. And he is an overrun on a dude, and he doesn't like your face.
Nope.
This dude's great and limited. He maybe is like a one-of in like the old modern... like he may replace like the Colossuses in the green elf decks, but that's about it.
Because he swings as well.
Yeah.
And you bet your ass I'm going to play in a Reanimator deck. Turn 4, Connive Concoct. I have a 7/7 Trample Haste Vigilance. Thank you.
It's pretty silly.
Oh, so good. In range, Ceratok. 2 green. He's a little Mad Rhino. Can be blocked by creatures with power 2 or less.
He's a really good limited card, for
Yeah.
sure.
He's a 4/4 for
He's
4.
a good beater, just in general.
Yeah.
Next up is Gatebreaker Ram. 3 mana for a 2/2. He gets 1/1 as long for each gate you control. As long as you control 2 or more gates, he has Vigilance and Trample.
God.
This dude's actually really good.
Yeah.
Like, I like this dude a lot with gates.
Yeah. Especially in sealed when you know you have 6 gates. This can be a 8/8 Vigilance Trample for 3.
That dude's awesome. He's a little sheep.
Yep.
Good.
Next one, Gift of Strength. 1 and 1 green, instant. It gets +3/+3 and reach until end of turn. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I think it's just a limited card if you like that.
Yeah, pretty much.
Next up is Growth Chamber Guardian. 2 mana for a 2/2 Elf Crab Warrior. And whenever 1 or more counters are put on him, you may search your library for a card named Growth Chamber Guardian, reveal it, and put in your hand. And he's got Adapt too, so he can put extra counters on him to go get himself.
I like this card a lot. Because by turn 3, you can pay 3, make him a 3/3, and you go get another one to replace him. Just in case. Like, I really
he's
like
pretty
that guy.
silly. I like him.
The next one, Gruul Beastmaster, 3 and a green. It has Riot, and it's a 2/2. Whenever it attacks, another target creature you control gets X until in a turn where X is the power of Gruul Beastmaster. This guy's kind of good in limited.
Yeah, he's very much a limited bomb.
You would, I don't know if you would ever want to give it haste, but giving it a counter and then swinging next turn to give something +3, not too bad.
Next up is Guardian Project. 4 mana for an enchantment. Whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, if it doesn't have the same name as another creature you control or a creature card in your graveyard, draw a card.
It's an EDH staple for sure. It's gonna have to be in green.
Yeah, it's a weird little card. I don't know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
Limited, it's kind of okay, because
Yeah.
you're probably not going to have, say, very many of the same card.
Yeah.
But I don't know if it's worth it in limited, because it doesn't impact the game immediately.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. I have been watching some pre-releases from my favorite Canadians on YouTube, but I saw it in play. It actually did really well. So well, he almost decked himself. But not standard playable ever. I think this was a card that people thought Brawl was going to be famous, so they kept with it.
Yeah.
Besides that, nothing. The next one, Incubation Druid. 1 and a green, Elf Druid, 0/2. Tap, add 1 mana of any type that a land you control could produce. If Incubation Druid has a 1/1 counter on it, add 3 mana of that type instead. You can pay 3 and 2, so 5 mana to adapt for 3. So it becomes a 3/5 that can tap for 3 mana. Hopefully Kevin would love this card as much as I do, because we loved Somber Wall Sage when it came out. This one's just a little harder to do.
Yeah. He's pretty good. He's not, like, crazy. We'll see.
But I'm thinking, turn 3, you play Hadana's Climb. Battle happens, you put a counter on him. Second main phase, tap for 3 mana to cast something else. That's where you need to play this Druid at.
Yeah.
Then it's ridiculous, and it doesn't die to Gut Shot. That's a stupid card.
Next up is a Mammoth Spider. 5 mana for a 3/5 reach. He's just a good limited spider.
Yeah, that's really all it
All
is.
the spiders are always good and limited.
This must be a town that has giant bugs.
Yeah, that would be terrifying.
That would be extremely terrifying. Next one, Open the Gates! 1 green sorcery. Search your library for basic land or gate card. Reveal it and put it in your hand. Shuffle your library. It's going to be used somewhere. Someone's going to bust this
card. The gate cards are going to be used just because they're pretty good.
Yeah.
Next up is Rampage of the Clans. 4 mana instant. Destroy all artifacts and enchantments. For each permanent destroyed this way, its controller gets a 3/3 green centaur. See, I kind of like this card for the simple fact that it can clear the board if you really needed to. But this card is actually really dumb in like a modern deck just because you're like, free dudes. I get a lot of 3/3s.
Yeah. That, I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know either.
I didn't give it to build around this card for it to do anything. In limited, it's going to be terrible.
Yeah, don't pick it.
But it's really going to be cool to be able to build around.
It's just sad that you want to use this against control because they have a bunch of enchantments and artifacts. But you don't want to give them 3/3 beast either, especially when they board wipe your board and you have nothing.
But what if you used it with, like, scriptures?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah,
Maybe. Sagas get old. Or if you have a bunch of treasure tokens and you do it, then that would be silly.
Yeah.
But that's about it. Alright, Rampaging Rindhorn. 4 and a green. Riot 4/4 beast. Good limited.
Yeah, it's really good.
This guy is really good in limited.
Next up is Regenesis. 5-mana instant. Return up to 2 target permanent cards from your graveyard to your hand. I don't really like this card at all. It costs a lot for what it does.
Thankfully, it's an instant, but meh.
I mean, it does get permanent, so it's okay, but it's not the best.
Yeah. The next one, Root Snare. 1 in a green, instant. Prevent all combat damage that would be dealt this turn. Thanks for more Bant Nexus.
Yeah.
Fuel. Sad.
Next up is Sagittarius Volley. 3 mana for an instant. Destroy target creature with flying. It does 1 damage to each creature with flying your opponent controls. It's a neat sideboard card. I don't really think it's going to do anything else, though.
Yeah, sideboard limited, definitely if you fight against an Aftermath deck.
Yeah.
That's about it. Cerulea's Caretaker. 1 green defender, 0/3, tap and untap creature you control, add 1 mana of any color.
It'll be neat and limited.
Yeah.
Next up is the Sorrow Form Hybrid. 2 mana, 2/2, Human Lizard Warrior. He adapts for 6 mana and he adapts 4.
So 6/6 and for 6 essentially later on. I don't know. He has some swagger in his walk. We're good.
I don't really like that dude. I think he'll be a limited card at all.
Yeah, pretty much. Silhana Wayfinder. 1 in a green. Elf Scout. When he enters the battlefield, look at the top 4 cards of your library. You may reveal a creature or land card from among them and put it on the top of your library. Put the rest at the bottom of your library in random order. It's a 2/1. I do not like this card at all. I hate that it puts it on top of your library.
Yeah, I mean, it protects it from discard, but that's not really that worth it.
Yeah, and sure, you can set up a land next turn if you need it, but I don't know. I don't like cards that do that.
Yeah. Next up is Steeple Creeper. 3 mana for a 4/2 with pay a blue and 3, and it gains flying until the end of turn.
But you missed the most important aspect.
I mean, it is a frog snake.
It is a frog snake.
It's pretty wild.
It's a frog snake. It's good and limited.
Yeah.
Alright, Stony Strength. 1 green, instant. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Untap that creature. That's a good trick for limited.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's about it.
Next up is the Sylvan Brush Strider. 3 mana for a 3/2. When it comes into play, you gain 2 life. It's okay. It's a limited card, really.
Yep. Territorial Boar. 1 in green. Whenever a creature with power 4 or greater enters the battlefield under your control, this boar gets +1/+1 and gains vigilance until end of turn. It's a 2/2 for 2. I like it.
It's pretty good.
Good rule limited card.
Next up is the Titanic Brawl. 2 mana for an instant. This spell costs 1 less to cast if it targets a creature you control with a 1/1 counter. Target creature you control fights target creature you don't control. So this is a much better prey upon.
Agreed.
Because you're like, hey, my dude's bigger already. Kill that dude.
Yeah. I think if merfolks get crazy, this will be one of the kill cards for it. I think it's actually really good and could be seen in standard for sure. And even in Gruul too. Like, it's pretty good. Tower Defense. 1 in a green instant. Creatures you control get a +0/+5 and gain reach until end of turn. Limited.
Mm-hmm. Next up is the Trollbred Guardian. 5 mana for a 5/5 Troll Frog Warrior. Each creature you control with a 1/1 counter gains Trample, and you can pay 3 and adapt 2.
So it's a 7/7 Trample. That card's really good and limited.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
I would get him as much as possible if I could. Alright, the best card in the whole set ever made in Magic.
I don't know about that.
Wilderness
All of what you just said, I don't know about.
Reclamation. 3 in a green, enchantment. At the beginning of your end step, untap all lands you control. Let me repeat that. At the beginning of your end step, you untap all your lands. You just everything that Magic needs to do to play cards, you get to untap them for their turn. Control is going to run wild with this card. I'm going to run it with creatures, with flash and tricks, and just this card is insanely broken.
It's good. I don't like your statement about the best card ever, because it's definitely not.
Definitely in the set. It needs to be banned.
It's not the best card in the set either.
It totally is.
It's not.
Like,
it's good.
Oh, people do not sleep on this uncommon stupid enchantment.
Yeah.
Because it will wreck your world when you fight.
It's definitely going to be used in standard. And it'll be cool and limited, but maybe.
Definitely limited if you do Adept, because then you can untap and then at the end of the turn Adapt, and it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. The final green card is Wrecking Beast, 7 mana for 6/6 Riot and Trank. That dude's pretty good limited drop. He's just going to win the game for you.
And it looks like a giant rooster chicken just busting through a wall.
Yeah.
So, good for him.
Raw Rooster Chicken. He pretty good.
Yep. Now, that was the end of green, and this is why everyone is actually here for. The multicolored cards. The good old gold ones. And the first one is one of the new hotness. Absorb. 1 white, 2 blue, so 3 altogether. Instant. Counter target spell, you gain 3 life. It's going to hurt a lot of mid-range, or a lot of aggro cards for sure.
Yeah.
Or aggro decks.
It's definitely a really good reprint.
It's going to be used in standard for sure.
Yeah. Next up is Aeromunculus. A blue, green, and 1 for a homunculus mutant, 2/3 flyer. You pay 4 and adapt to 1. He's actually pretty cool, limited bomb.
Yeah, he's really good in limited, and the art's super cute.
Yeah.
Apply Biomancy. Green and blue. Instant. Choose one or both. Target creature gets +1/+1 until end turn. Return target creature to its owner's hand. I can see this being in standard, to be honest. Because it bounces a dude and you can kill another dude. So it's like a 2 for 1 for 2. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Dude's definitely really good.
Yeah.
Next up is Azorius Knight Arbiter. 5 mana, a blue, white, and 3 for 2/5 vigilance, and it can't be blocked.
So, great in limited.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately used in limited. Azorius Skyguard. 4 white, blue. Flying first strike. Creatures your opponents control get -1/-0. It's a 3/3 flyer.
Dude's really good in limited
Yeah.
because he helps your dude stay alive, and that's what matters.
Exactly.
Next up is Basilica Bellhaunt. 2 black and 2 white for a 3/4 spirit. When he enters the battlefield, each opponent discards a card and you gain 3 life.
So,
I like this dude a lot, actually, as
I do
one of
too.
the double color dudes.
Yeah.
He's really, really strong. He'll be good in limited for sure, and he'll probably be pretty good in standard.
The best kill of the set, Bedevil. 2 black, red, instant. Destroy target artifact, creature, or planeswalker. With how good Azorius is, I'm glad this card was printed, and it has now become my favorite art of Magic of all time. This art is amazing.
It is pretty good.
It's insane. But pick yours up immediately. This card's good.
Yeah, definitely going to be used in standard. Next up is a Biomancer's Familiar. A blue-green for a 2/2 mutant. Activated abilities of creatures you control cost 2 less to activate. This effect can't reduce the number of mana ability to less than 1 mana. Tap. The next time a target creature adapts this turn, it adapts as though it had no counters on it.
So, if you make an adapt deck, this guy is extremely strong. And I actually want to know what other creature combos in Modern that you can do because of the 2 less to activate. I think it's super silly.
Card does some silliness.
Yeah, so you adapt, you get the counters again constantly. You just keep doing it back to back. You can't do it in response to each other. You have to wait until it resolves, and then you do it again. And then you do it again.
I like it.
This guy's really good. Limited bomb if you can build around it.
Yeah.
Bolrac Clan Crusher. 3 red, green. Tap, remove a 1/1 counter from a creature you control. Crusher deals 2 damage to any target. It's a 4/4. It can be late game kill for limited. That's about it. I mean, it's really good in limited. So if your riot dudes have a counter on it, you just tap to remove it at the end of turn to, deal 2 damage. If it's a stopping point.
Next up is Captive Audience.
Yes.
A black, red, and 5 for an enchantment. Enters the battlefield under the control of an opponent of your choice. At the beginning of your upkeep, choose one that hasn't been chosen. Your life total becomes 4. Discard your hand. Each opponent gains 5 2/2 zombies. This card is awesome and terrible again at the same time.
I want to cheat this in somehow. I'm going to find a way.
Because when you're just like, hey, do this.
Yeah.
Have fun.
Be like, on your upkeep, what's happening?
Because none of those are good choices.
No.
They're just not.
They're immediately going to give you 5 2/2 zombie tokens. Because that's all, like, who wants to discard their hand or go to 4?
And I mean, that gives them literally 2-turn clock if they don't have dudes. So it's kind of just bad all
It's
around.
insane. Alright, one of the best enchantments out of the set besides Wilderness Reclamation is Cinder Vines. Red, green. Whenever an opponent casts a non-creature spell, Cinder Vines deals 1 damage to that player. Jesus. 1. Sacrifice it. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. It deals 2 damage to that permanent's controller. Control hate for sure. You're going to put, I would say, 4 in your sideboard, and probably just 3, but this card is insane.
Yeah, it's just a better naturalized, because it gets to do something else.
Yeah, it gets to do something else, and if you're playing it turn 2, they're going to take damage constantly, because they're just doing draw spells.
Next up is a Clan Guild Mage, a red-green, and for a 2/2 human shaman. You pay a red and 1 tap, target creature can't block this turn. You pay a green and 2, target land you control becomes a 4/4 elemental with haste.
It's really good and limited.
Yeah, he's a really good limited bomb.
Abilities are cheap enough where you'll win the game with it. Combine Guild Mage, green and a blue. 1 and a green, this turn each creature you control enters the battlefield with an additional 1/1 counter on them. Or 1 and a blue, tap. Move a 1/1 counter from target creature you control onto another target creature you control. It'll be silly if you can work with it.
Yeah. Again, he's a limited bomb. Most of the Guild Mages, I think, are limited dudes.
Yep.
Which this brings us to the Cult Guild Mage. Red and a black for a 2/2. You pay a black and 3, target player discards a card, activate this ability only as a sorcery.
Which is good.
And pay a red, tap, deal 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker.
Which activates Spectacle. So it's really good limited.
Yeah, he's pretty silly.
Yeah. Next one. Deputy of Detention. 1 white and blue. It's a 1/3. When it enters the battlefield, exile target non-land permanent and opponent controls, and all other non-land permanents that player controls with the same name until Deputy leaves the field. This card's insane. It destroys tokens. He's going to be used for sure.
I've had to argue with so many people about this card being good because they don't think he is. And I'm like, the dude removes everything.
Yeah. It's not Detention Sphere, which makes it fair because any deck can kill Deputy. Not all decks can kill a Detention Sphere.
Yeah. This card's really strong.
So
though.
I'm glad they made this fair. And
definitely going to be a standard card.
And I'm definitely going to use it for sure.
Next up is the one of the planeswalkers of the set, Domri, Chaos Bringer, red, green, and 2 for a 5 loyalty planeswalker, which is awesome.
Yeah, that's the best.
+1, add a red or a green. If the mana is spent on a creature, it gains Riot. -3, look at the top 4 of your library. You may reveal up to 2 creatures from among them and put them in your hand. -8, you get an emblem at the beginning of each end step. Create a 4/4 red and green beast token with trample.
Yep.
So this dude's actually really, really good. I mean, he's not as strong as old Domri.
Nope.
But he is still powerful.
Yes.
Because he curves out really well in the Gruul deck. Because he curves out on turn 3 or 4. And then he curves into a Carnage Tyrant, which is silly.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. Carnage Tyrant with Riot, which means give it haste and swing.
Yeah. Just silliness.
And the fact that it has 5 loyalty is what makes it busted. Because it can go up to 6 immediately on turn 4, which is like Karn, but with red-green. And if you're behind, then you -3 to get 2 dudes that you know you can spend mana later to get it. And remember, with Riot, it actually stacks. So if you have a dude with Riot, you cast this for a creature with Riot. 1 Riot trigger can give it haste, 1 Riot trigger can give it a counter, and then you swing.
Yeah. Domri is super good in standard.
Yeah.
Play him.
Done. Next one is also the other planeswalker, Dovin, Grand Arbiter. 1 white, blue. Comes out with 3 loyalty. Till end of turn, whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, put a loyalty counter on Dovin, Grand Arbiter. -1. Get a 1/1 colorless Thopter token with flying, you gain 1 life. -7. Look at the top 10 cards of your library. Put 3 of them into your hand and the rest at the bottom of your library in random order. He's really weird. They made Azorius seem to have more creature control, which is fine because Teferi's too strong right now. So, I don't know. We'll see what this will do. It can be an Esper like artifact deck with Dovinbond, Karn, and then Tezzeret being literally in the mana cost path.
Yeah.
3, 4, and 5 drop. So who knows? We'll see what happens with that.
Next up is Dovin's Acuity, a white, blue, and 1 for an enchantment. It enters the battlefield, you gain 2 life and draw a card. When you cast an instant or sorcery during your main phase, you may return this to its owner's hand. This card's actually really cool. It's nothing like crazy.
Yeah.
But if you get the synergy going, it'll be really, really neat.
Yeah, it's really good and limited, for sure.
Yeah.
I've seen it in play. It's ridiculous. Next one. Emergency Powers. 5 and white and a blue. Instant. Each player shuffles their hand in the graveyard in the library, then draws 7 cards. Exile Emergency Powers. Addendum, though. If you cast a spell on your main phase, you may put a permanent card with converted mana cost 7 or less from your hand onto the battlefield. This is where Wild Reclamation can get insane. Because you can do this on your main phase. Look at the top 7. Or you have a 7 card. You can play it and then untap. And then you have a full grip to deal whatever they have in their hand.
Mm-hmm. Card is really strong in standard.
It's so strong. We'll see who can break this card.
Yeah. Next up is Ethereal Absolution. A white, black, and 4 for an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Creatures your opponent control get -1/-1. You can pay a white, black, and 2. Exile target card from an opponent's graveyard. If it's a creature, you create a 1/1 white and black spirit.
Yep.
This card's actually, I think, really good in standard. I think it's going to be like a 1 or 2 of maybe.
Yeah.
Just because it puts your dudes over the edge enough to just get there.
Exactly.
And you can just keep making dudes. It's silly.
It's a smaller Elish Norn, and the fact that you can make technically 2/2 flying, or 2/2 white and black spirit tokens with flying for 4. Next one, Final Payment. 1 and a black instant. As an additional cost to cast a spell, pay 5 life or sacrifice a creature or enchantment. Destroy target creature. I like this card actually.
Yeah, I do too.
It can get there. It literally just destroys target creature. If you want to pay 5 life to kill a Lyra Dawnbringer, do it. You need to do it.
So yeah, for what it is, this card is actually really balanced because you can sacrifice multiple things, and it's 2 mana to just kill a dude.
And with Afterlife being the Orzhov thing, you don't care if you sacrifice something.
Yeah.
Because you'll just get value off of it.
Next up is a Fireblade Artist. A red-black for a 2/2 haste. And at the beginning of your upkeep, you may sacrifice a creature. When you do, he does 2 damage to an opponent or planeswalker.
I think this is one of the best uncommons in the set. I don't know. I think he should be a rare. He's so good.
He's good, but you're losing a dude to do it, so it's not that good.
But it could be tokens or
limited. I mean, I get that. Limited, he's great.
He's a bomb. He's a bomb in limited. Dude,
yeah.
The fact that he's a 2/2 for haste in general for 2. And then if you get stuck behind while they have big dudes, you just sack and kill them. Or if you're worried about settle the wreckage, you just upkeep, take 2, kill Teferi. Like, it's just good. Frenzy Arnix, 2 red, green. He has Riot for a 3/3 creature. He has Trample, and if you pay 6, it gets +3 until end of turn.
It's pretty silly.
It's a silly good uncommon.
Yeah, he's a good common limited.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely limited. Next up is the Frilled Mystic. 2 green and 2 blue for a 3/2 flash. Comes into play, counter a target spell. The new Mystic Snake.
And I'm going to play the hell out of this guy because this guy is insanely good.
Yeah, and he's an Elf Lizard Wizard.
Yeah, Elf Lizard Wizard.
Yeah.
Yeah. The 3/2 body that counters Spell Queller, anyone?
He'll definitely be a standard playable card.
He will be, definitely. Galloping Lizrog. 3 green, blue. He is a frog lizard. He's a trampled 3/3. Enters the battlefield. You may remove any number of 1/1 counters among creatures you control. If you do, put twice that many on this creature. So really good limited bomb, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Next up is Get the Point. A black, red, and 3 for an instant. Destroy target creature. Scry 1. This is an awesome limited card.
Yep.
Awesome limited card.
That's what
it's
it
really
is.
its place.
Next one, Grasping Thrall. 3 white, black. They always make this creature every time. Flying 3/3. Whenever it enters the battlefield, deals 2 damage to each opponent. You gain 2 life. Like they've done this in every Ravnica set ever.
Next up is Growth Spiral. Blue-green instant. Draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield. So this card's really, really strong.
Yes.
Because it's going to make for a lot of shenanigans.
Yes. I think it's the strongest common in the set. Just the fact that on turn 2, at the end of their turn, you draw a card and then you have another land that you play. Any land. Doesn't have to be basic. You just ramp up for 2.
Yeah.
This card's
pretty good.
Good. Next one, Gruul Spellbreaker. 1 red, green. 3/3, Riot, Trample. As long as it's your turn, you and Gruul Spellbreaker have hexproof. So you don't have to worry about Settle the Wreckage with this guy. Especially when you're like, haste, swing. Like, what are you going to do? You can't seal away this guy, you can't kill him, and you can't seal away or whatever. Or the other ones, Settle the Wreckage.
Yeah, he's pretty silly.
This guy's silly.
Great in standard.
Yeah, great.
Next up is a Gyre Engineer. He's a Vidalcan Wizard. He's a 1/1 for 3. And you add a blue and a green. This is his ability.
How do you feel about these guys? The 3 mana then adds 2?
I'm not a huge fan of him.
Yeah.
I think he's kind of overpaid. But he'll be cool and limited because he gets you there quicker.
Yeah. he'll help with the adapt skills and such.
I think that's about it.
Next one, Acrobat. 1 black red, Spectacle of black red. It's a 2/3, and you pay a black and give it Death Touch, or you pay red and give it +2/-2 until end of turn. It's a great limited card for sure. Like if you need a Rakdos beater, this is it. Especially if you're able to do it turn 2 with the Spectacle cost.
Next up is High Alert. A blue, white, and 1 for an enchantment. Each creature you control assigns combat damage equal to its toughness rather than power. Creatures you control can attack as though they didn't have Defender. And a blue, white, and 2 untapped target creature.
So there's another card for it, Arcades.
Yeah.
So Bant Arcades deck is going to be viable maybe.
Yeah,
definitely. You put 4 of these in there and 4 of him, and then you're good. Alright, one of the most powerful ones out there. Hydroid Crassus. X blue-green. It's a jellyfish Hydra Beast. Whenever you cast this spell, you gain X life and draw X cards rounded down for each time. Or wait, yeah. Oh, round down each time. Sorry, that confused me. Anyways, he has flying, trample, enters the battlefield with X/1/1 counters on it. This card is going to be busted.
Yeah, this dude's really good.
Yeah.
Because he gives you a lot of value if you can pay a lot.
Yeah.
Even if you don't pay a lot, he gives you a lot of value too. Because if you pay just 2 mana, so you get 4 mana. So let's say you pay 4 mana. Your X would be
2.
Yeah, you get 2 on the draw cards and 2 life, but you get a 4/4.
Yeah.
With flying and trample.
Flying and trample.
That's insane. Like, that's just so strong.
It's super strong, especially if you're running like some sort of band control or whatever that you're just going long game. You're just gaining life and drawing cards. Remember Sphinx's Revelation?
If you get that dude in limited, bomb.
Yeah.
Get that dude in standard, still pretty good.
Yeah.
Next up is an Imperious Oligarch. A white-black for a 2/1 Vigilance Afterlife 1. Pretty good standard little white-black girl.
Yeah. Pretty
She's
good.
good.
Next one, Judith, the Scourge Diva. 1 black red. Other creatures you control gets +1/+0. Whenever a non-token creature dies, Judith deals 1 damage to any target. It's a 2/2. I like this card. It also helps with Aristocrats if need be. And it's a good aggro card.
Yeah, it really is. She'll be good in standard for sure.
Yeah. The fact it does any target, so you can swing in if it dies. If they board wipe, then you can target all to fairy. Stuff like that.
Next up is Kaya, the Orzhov Usurper. A white, black, and 1 for a 3 loyalty planeswalker. +1, exile up to 2 target cards from a single graveyard. You gain 2 life if at least 1 creature was exiled this way. -1, exile target non-land permanent with convert mana cost 1 or less. -5, she deals damage to target player equal to the number of cards that player owns in exile, and you gain that much life.
I don't know.
So she's very lackluster in my opinion.
Yes.
I think she's got her spot in like a sideboard as like a tech against graveyard hate, but that's really about it.
Yeah.
I don't feel like she's gonna do a lot more than that, and I don't think she's gonna be very expensive, even though she has a 3-drop planeswalker.
The fact that we don't get a Ghost Daddy in the set and it's replaced by her,
It's kind of sad.
It's very sad. It really disappointed me, to be honest, to see this card. Ugh, gross. But her Wrath, though, Kaya's Wrath, 2 white, 2 black, destroy all creatures. You gain life equal to the number of creatures you control that were destroyed this way. It's a 4-mana Wrath. Welcome back.
And she's killing Ghost Dad in the picture, which is sad.
Which is very sad.
But that's okay.
Yeah. Definitely use this. It'll be used in standard for sure. In a lot of horrible ways.
Next up is Knight of the Last Breath. 5 mana and a white and a black for a 4/4 Giant Knight. Pay 3, sacrifice another non-token creature, create a 1/1 black and white spirit, and he's got Afterlife 3.
Good limited.
He's pretty good, yeah.
Alright. Lavinia, Azorius Renegade. 1 white, 1 blue, 2/2. Each opponent can't cast non-creature spells with converted mana cost greater than the number of lands that player controls. Ban Nexus, screw you. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, if no mana was spent to cast it, counter that spell. Really good. I love this card.
See, I think she's better than that other card.
She stops that other card from happening, yes.
Hence, she's better.
But still really good. And
yeah, she'll be definitely used in sideboard and in standard and everything.
Yeah, I'm going to use her in main board. She's just ridiculous.
Well, yeah, but
yeah,
limited, she's kind of terrible.
Yeah.
Next up is Law Mage's Binding. A blue, white, and 1 for an enchantment aura. With flash, enchant creature. Enchanted creature, it can't attack or block, and its activated abilities can't be activated.
This card is going to be so annoying to fight against.
Yeah.
It's going to be used in standard for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Macabre Mockery. 2 black, red. Instant. Put target creature card from an opponent's graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gets +2/+0 and gains haste until end of turn. Sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. I love this card. I want to use it so bad in standard. It's instant. So even if they swing, you can still do it at their turn, grab a dude, have their dead dude block their dude to make their dude dead, and there.
Those are a lot of dead dudes.
And especially if it has an inner battlefield effect, and I love this card.
It is a really good card. It'll definitely be a standard card.
Especially if you're like, turn 3, discard that Ghalta out of your hand. I always use Ghalta because it's like the biggest creature. Or Niv Mizzet, like discard that. On your turn 4, you grab the Niv Mizzet, you swing for 7. Like, it's just silly. This card's just silly.
Next up is Mortify. Another really great reprint. White, black, and 1 for an instant. Destroy target creature or enchantment.
Yeah. It's solid.
The card is just a great card all around. Definitely a limited bomb and a standard good card.
Oh, yeah. Nakia of the Old Ways. 3 red, green. You can't cast non-creature spells. Whenever you tap a land for mana, add 1 mana of any type that land produced. 5/5. Probably EDH legend staple person, but I don't like this card at all.
See, I kind of do. I like that card just because it's a big dumb beast.
Yeah.
And I love the big dumb creatures in Magic. But yeah, I don't think he's going to do a whole lot, but he's fun.
Like maybe if you do Naya dudes, just all dudes that do special things when they come to play, but besides that, no.
Next up is a Pitiless Pontiff. A white-black for a 2/2 Vampire Cleric. Pay 1, sacrifice another creature, and she gains Death Touch and Indestructible until the end of turn.
Really good limited.
The card is very good and limited.
Standard is probably going to be Aristocrat type.
Yeah.
Sacrifice engine. Alright, next one. Prime Speaker Vanifaller. 2 green, blue. Tap, sacrifice another creature. Search your library for a creature card with converted mana cost equal to 1 plus the sacrifice creature's mana cost. Put that card on the battlefield and shuffle your library. Activate this ability only once, anytime you can cast a sorcery. It's a 2/4. She is also an ooze, so she'll get a counter every turn. But, anyways, super hyped for this. Well, everyone's super hyped for this card because of Birthing Pod now being technically legal and modern. But the fact that you can only cast it as a sorcery, even on your turn, makes me sad.
Yeah, but that was their way to make it not be Birthing Pod.
Yeah,
They had to.
They had to even it out.
Yeah.
So-
It's still really good.
So we will see what shenanigans are out there for this card.
Yeah. Next up is a Rafter Demon. A red, black, and 2 for a 4/2 with Spectacle 5. And he enters the battlefield if its spectacle cost was paid, each opponent discards a card.
It's very bad.
Yeah, he's mostly just a 4/2 for 4.
Don't play this guy. Not even limited.
And then limited, that's his only like place to be used is in limited.
Maybe. Ugh. Next one. Rakdos Firewheeler. 2 black, 2 red of the cycle. It's a 4/3. Enters the battlefield, deals 2 damage to target opponent and 2 damage to up to 1 target creature or planeswalker. It's good. It's okay limited.
Yeah, I like this dude a lot actually because he does a lot for you.
I mean, he's way better than Raptor Demon already.
Yeah. Rakdos Roustabout. 3 mana for a 3/2 Ogre Warrior. When he becomes blocked, he deals 1 damage to the player or planeswalker it's attacking.
Do you think he just pulled that skull out of someone's head?
Probably.
And then he's about to bat it with his fire bat?
No, he looks really good. I think he's a really good limited card. I don't know
Yes.
if he's going to do much in standard, but limited he's really great.
Yeah, he enables spectacle for you. This card is also disappointing to me, but silly. Rakdos, the Showstopper. 4 red, black. It's a 6/6 legendary creature, demon. Flying trample, of course. And whenever he enters the battlefield, flip a coin for each creature that isn't a demon, devil, or imp. Destroy each creature whose coin comes up tails. Entertain me, he says. I really wanted to make a deck with Thrawn's Temple Gateway with all the badass guild leaders, but they kind of just made them kind of sad.
Yeah, but I like his idea. I think he's really good.
Yeah, his theme is very on point.
Yeah. I think he's going to definitely be a good 6-drop to play in Standard just because he's a 6/6 flying trample. And, I mean, there's an extra added ability to kill some dudes.
Yeah.
But just know you might lose your dudes.
Yeah, we'll see.
However, the next guy is a Ravager Worm. And this dude is awesome. Red and 2 green and 3 for a 4/5 with Riot. When it enters the battlefield, choose up to 1. It fights target creature you don't control, or you destroy target land with an activated ability that isn't a mana ability. So Ravager Worm is amazing just because it's got Riot and it's got Fight.
Yep.
So you're like, Riot, this dude's bigger, fight your dude.
Yeah.
Or Riot, this dude is haste, fight your dude, swing 4.
Yeah.
Insane.
Yeah, so many options. Or destroy your Azcanta land if I'm able to play this guy. It's just good. I agree.
Definitely a limited bomb.
Yes.
And definitely going to be used in Standard.
Yeah, especially if Lyra gets even more popular. It kills a Lyra. You put a counter on it, and then it fights target Lyra.
Yeah.
All right, next one. Rhythm of the Wild. 1 red-green enchantment. Creature spells you control can be countered. Token creatures you control have Riot. This card should be a rare. It's so good. This card is insanely good, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And since Riot stacks, you can have multiple enchantments out, and it'll still be good.
Card is definitely fantastic.
It's fantastic. Put it in Standard in your main deck for sure.
Next up is Rubble Belt Runner. A red, green, and 1 for a 3/3. He can't be blocked by creature tokens.
I like it.
He's pretty cool. I think he's mostly just going to be a limited card, but he's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's a 3/3 for 3 unlimited. That's good enough. Next one. Savage Smash. 1 red, green. Target creature you control gets +2/+2 until end of turn. It fights target creature you don't control. It's just a limited goodness. I love it though when all these hateful cards are showing someone getting beaten. It's always a Azorius Guard that's getting trampled. Like in all the sets. Like Skullcrack, Minotaur smashing Azorius Guard. This dude's head butting Azorius Guard.
Poor Azorius.
Yeah.
Next up is the Cynic Guildmage. White, blue for a 2/2. And he can pay a white and tap, gain 2 life, or pay a blue and tap, draw a card, then discard a card.
It's one of the better guild mages
He's
ever.
really, really strong for one of the guild mages.
It's insane.
Definitely standard playable. Can be used in limited.
Oh yeah, for sure. And one of the... whatever. Seraph the Skells. She's amazing. 2 white, black, 4/3 flying. You can pay 1 white to give her Vigilance. You can pay 1 black to give her Death Touch. And she has an Afterlife 2. It's so good.
This card is insane. And he's... Oh, man.
It's so good. The art's really good. Yeah.
Any kind of white-black deck, she's going to make... Like, she turns... Turn 4 her, turn 5 Lyra, and your life is pretty set easily.
Yeah. Insane. Another... She can be a 5... Was it 5/6 Vigilance?
Yeah.
Lifelink. It's just stupid.
Yeah. Next up is a Sharkdo Crab. 2 mana for a 2 green and... green, blue, and 2. For a 4/4 fish octopus crab. Whenever one or more counters is put on him, tap target creature an opponent controls. That creature doesn't untap, and he has got adapt 1 for 4 mana.
The card's good.
He's silly good and limited.
Really good and limited. If Hadana's Climb with this guy, super good.
Yeah.
Every turn, tap that dude. Can't do it. Sorry. Alright, the next one. Simic Ascendancy. Blue, green, enchantment. 1 blue, green. Put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Whenever 1 or more 1/1 counters are put on that creature you control, you may put that many growth counters on Simic Ascendancy. At the beginning of your upkeep, if it has 20 or more, you win the game. It's a silly card, but it's going to be gone, destroyed, exiled. It's not going to happen.
Yeah, it's probably not. Like, the only way this could win is if you play it the turn before you're going to get 20. That's really about it.
Yeah, it's just...
It's not really worth playing.
Nope.
Next up is Sphinx of New Prov. A blue, white for a 4/3 flying vigilance. Spells your opponent cast that target this costs 2 more to cast. This chick is awesome as a beater in white-blue.
Yeah.
Because she's just super hard to deal with. And you just get to get there.
It's just a bomb unlimited. Almost can see standard play. Almost. Because it's a 4/3 vigilance flying.
Yeah.
That you could barely kill. Next one. Sphinx's Insight. 2 white, blue. Instant. Draw 2 cards. Addendum. If it's on your main phase, you gain 2 life. Thank you, Wizards, for not reprinting Sphinx's Revelation and making it this week.
Yeah.
Just thank you. That's all I gotta say.
Next up is the Sunder Shaman. Red, red, green, green for a 5/5. He can't be blocked by more than one creature. And when he deals damage to a player, destroy target artifact or enchantment that player controls.
This is a limited bomb.
Yeah, he's just huge.
He's a 5/5 for 4 that can't be double blocked. Like how? That's happy time.
Yeah, you're just like, I'm gonna swing 5. Go.
And I would even put him in an EDH deck. There's so many artifacts and enchantments out there. It's ridiculous. Next one, Syndicate Guildmage. 1 in a black. You can pay 2. 1 white in colors. Tap target creature with power 4 or greater. I don't know why that matters. 4 in a black. Deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. That's good, but it's limited, and it's okay.
Yeah,
but
really, he's just a limited card.
Meh.
Next up is Taste of Karlov. 2 and a white and a black for a 2/4. If a creature dying causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Creature tokens you control have lifelink and vigilance. So Afterlife gets to go ham.
Oh yeah, super ham. Just build a bunch of dudes, and then it has intangible virtue, pretty much, almost. And you can do a Death Harmonic deck. That's the name I named one of the decks with the Panharmonic.
Yeah.
But with death triggers.
Yeah, she's pretty silly.
She's insanely silly. The next one, Theater of Horrors. 1 black, red, enchantment. Beginning your upkeep, exile a top card of your library. During your turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, you may play cards exiled with Theater of Horrors. Pay 4, 1 and 3, or 1 red and 3. It deals 1 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. So it's a pinger. It can hurt planeswalkers, and it gives you an extra hand if they take damage this turn.
It's pretty good. I don't know if it's going to do a lot, but
Yeah.
it's pretty good for standard.
I think so too. Like, multiples might be crazy if you just put 2 a turn, but if you ping them for 1 and then you have a whole like second 3 hands over there,
Yeah.
it can be really good.
Next up is Zagana, Utopian Speaker. 2 green and a blue for a 4/4. She comes into the battlefield if you control another creature with a 1/1 counter, draw a card. Each creature you control with a 1/1 counter gains trample, and you can pay 6 and adapt 4. I actually kind of like her a lot just because she does a lot for you. And if you adapt her, you just get to be like 8/8 tramples. Go.
Yeah.
Rawr.
Rawr. So we'll see. She is a Merfolk, and if Merfolks get strong, there we go.
Yeah.
Alright. Zertog Goblin. Red and a green. Riot 2/2. This guy's super good. I would use him in standard. He's a 2/2 haste again, or a 3/3 for 2.
Yeah. Definitely really good.
Yeah.
Now we're going to go into the hybrid cards. So I'm just going to say red or black, but it just knows hybrid.
Yeah.
And the first one is Footlight Fiend. So it's red or black, and whenever it dies, it deals 1 damage to any target, and it's a 1/1.
Yeah, I like it. It's a little Mog Fanatic that kind of just does it. It's just good and limited.
He's pretty good.
Rubble Slinger. It's 2 and a Gruul. It's a Reach 2/3 Human Warrior. Just good.
Yeah, I like it.
I like
He's a
it.
good limited card for sure.
Definitely.
Next up is a Scuttlegator. 4 and a blue-green, or whatever.
Yeah,
color
two
combination.
Simics.
Yeah. He's a Crab Turtle Crocodile.
Yeah.
And he's a 6/6 Defender. As long as he's got a 1/1 counter on it, it can attack as though it didn't have Defender, and you can pay 8 and adapt 3.
So it's a 9/9 Crab Turtle Crocodile.
Dude's awesome and limited.
Yeah.
And he's a Crab Turtle Crocodile.
Alright, Senate Griffin. 2 and 2 Azorius. Flying. When Senate Griffin enters the battlefield, scry 1. It's a 3/2 flyer. Just good and limited.
Yeah, dude's really good limited.
Yeah.
Next up is Viscopa Vampire. 2 and a Noza Orzhov. 3/1 lifelink.
It's good.
Yeah, he's a really good limited card too, actually.
Alright, we're going to do this again.
Yep.
Split cards.
Yay, split cards.
Yeah, so we're going to do the rare Rakdos one. So the first one is Bedecked and Bedazzle. So 2 Rakdos, instant. Target creature gets +3, -3 in a turn. That's the winner here. Like, it's just really good. The next one, Bedazzled. 4 black, red. Instant. Destroy target non-basic land. It deals 2 damage to target opponent or planeswalker. It's good, but it costs 6 to do that. I don't like it, to be honest.
I don't know. I think it'd be okay.
For a rare, I think it's meh.
Yeah, that's fair. Next up is Carnival and Carnage. Carnival is 1 Rakdos. In its instant, Carnival deals 1 damage to target creature or planeswalker and 1 damage to that permanent's controller. Or Carnage is a 4-mana sorcery, deals 3 damage to target opponent. That player discards 2 cards.
I think this one's way better than the other one. To be
Yeah,
honest.
that card's really good because it's a lot like Lightning.
Yeah.
It's like Lightning 2.0.
And if you have the Pestilent Spirit, your things have Death Touch, so this deals 1 damage to the creature, kill it. Or Lightning, pretty much.
Yeah.
The next one, Collision and Colossus. Collision is 1 in a Gruul, instant. Collision deals 6 damage to target creature with flying, which is basically deals 6 damage to Doom Whisperer. And then Colossus is a red and green instant. Target creature gets +4/+2 and gains trample into turn. It's good limited. It's really good limited.
Next up is Consecrate and Consume. Consecrate is 1 in an Orzhov, and it's an instant. Exile target card from a graveyard, draw a card. So that's really good spot removal.
Yep.
And Consume is a 2 in white and black sorcery. Target player sacrifices a creature with the greatest power among creatures they control.
Get out of here, Carnage Tyrant. We
You
don't
gain
need
life
you.
equal to its power.
We
Yeah.
don't care for you because we're going to gain 7. Suck it.
The card's pretty silly.
It's really good. I'd definitely use it in sideboard standard.
Mm-hmm.
The next one, Dispose and Deploy. Dispose is 1 in Azorius instant. Tap target creature, draw a card. Really good. Deploy. 2 white and blue instant. Create 2 1/1 color slot creature tokens with flying, then you gain 1 life for each creature you control. It's good. It really is good.
Mm-hmm.
For limited and maybe standard too.
Next up is Incubation and Incongruity. Incubation is a hybrid blue-green, and look at the top 5 of your library. You may reveal a creature from among them, put them in your hand, put the rest on the bottom in a random order. And Incongruity is a blue-green and 1 for an instant. Exile target creature. That creature's controller creates a 3/3 Frog Lizard token.
That's probably what's going to be used mostly of that card.
Yeah.
Because for blue-green, you don't have much kill. That is exactly what you need for any creature ever.
Yeah. And Punk fight.
Yeah. Alright. Repudite and Replicate. Sorry, I don't know why I wanted to put a U there. Because Repudite did as well. Anyways. 2 for... What's the color here? Simic. Instant. God, this card got me all crazy. Counter target activator or triggered ability, which is insanely good.
Yeah.
It's going to be used constantly. And then, of course, Replicate. 1 green, blue sorcery. Create a token that's a copy of target creature you control.
That was a rough card for you.
It was.
This card's going to be rough in standard too.
Yeah.
Like for reals.
It really is.
This card's going to be super good. Because it can make a token or counter spell. And that's great.
And you know Esper Azorius is just going to use the 2 blue just to stop things. Like, it doesn't matter after that.
Yeah. Next up is Revival and Revenge. And this is the Orzhov split card rare. And it is amazing.
It's super amazing.
So Revival is 2 Orzhovs. And it's sorcery. Return target creature with 3 or less from the graveyard to the battlefield. And Revenge is a white, black, and 4. Double your life. Your target opponent loses half their life rounded up.
I so can't wait to play Esper Control. And then turn 6, they're like, I'm at 40, you're at 10. Thanks.
Card's pretty silly. Because if nothing else, you're just like, get back a dude that's already died in Afterlife.
Yeah.
Or you're like late game, you're dying.
Yeah.
Cause it's just good.
That card
Definitely going to be in standard used.
Yeah, immediately. The next one, Thrashing Threat. 2 Gruul, instant. Target creature you control deals damage equal to the power to target creature or planeswalker you don't control. Insanely good. Threat. 2 red, green, sorcery. Create a 4/4 red, green beast creature token with trample. Not so good. Thrash is what you're going to be using all the time, ever. Because you have a big dude, they're like, okay, well, Teferi. And you're like, well, kill Teferi with my dude. It's so good.
Yeah. Next up is Warrant and Warden. Warrant is 2 Azorius instant. Put target attacking or blocking creature on top of his owner's library, which is amazing.
Yep.
And Warden is 3 in a white and a blue. Sorcery, create a 4/4 white and blue Sphinx with flying and vigilance.
Which will never be used because Warrant is the best ever.
Yeah. I don't know. Warden's going to get used at some point, but I like that split card a lot. It's really strong.
It's
definitely going to be used in standard.
It's going to be one of the most annoying cards to deal with against control for sure. All right. And that is the end of the multicolor cards.
Next up, we're going to go into the artifacts. We're going to start with Azorius Locket. And it's 3 mana for an artifact. You add either a blue or a white and you can pay 4 Azorius, sacrifice it to drop 2 cards.
Yep.
These are the same like the old ones from the last set. They're just of the new guilds.
And we'll say the name of the other lockets, but it's basically the same thing.
Yeah, you just pay the colors of that guild and you do the things.
But the next one on the list is a Gate Colossus. It's an 8-drop 8/8. But it costs 1 less for each gate you control. And it can be blocked by creatures 2 or less. And whenever a gate enters the battlefield, you can put a Gate Colossus from your graveyard to the top of your library. I actually saw this do work earlier in a stream. It's silly.
He's pretty silly.
Yeah.
Next up is Glass of the Guild Pact. 2 mana artifact, multicolored creatures you control get +1/+1.
I really enjoy this card.
That's a really good little Lord card.
Yeah, especially for Afterlife spirits because they're white-black flying spirits. Okay, the next one, of course, is Gruul Locket. We'll skip to the next one.
Next up is a Junk Trawler, and it's 4 mana for an artifact creature defender, 0/6. Put target card from a graveyard on the bottom of its owner's library. It's really just a good limited card. That's really where it's at.
Because it's a good blocker the whole time.
And all the lockets are really limited cards. That's just their point.
Yeah, that's just... They say don't use some because of certain colors, but if you have a color that doesn't draw cards, and this lets you draw cards, then use it. I don't know why there was so much hate on Boros Lockets, but that won me plenty of games.
Yeah.
Because speaking of them, we have the Orzhov Locket.
Yep.
And then the Rakdos Locket.
Yep. And then next up is Scrabbling Claws, which is a really good reprint. 1 mana artifact, tap target player exiles a card from their graveyard, or you can pay 1, you can exile target card and draw a card.
It's going to be really good for sideboard.
Yeah.
See how many graveyard stuff still happens with drakes and such. The next one, Screaming Shield. It's 1 white, or just 1 colorless. Equipped creature gets +0/+3 and has 2. Target player puts the top 3 cards of their library in the graveyard. Equipped for 3. I don't know. I hate the equip cost is 3, but we'll see.
Yeah. And then next up is a Simic Locket.
And then the next one is Sphinx of the Guild Pact. 7-drop. Sphinx of the Guild Pact is all colors. Flying. Hexproof from multicolor. Or monocolor. It's a 5/5. It's weird.
I kind of like it though.
Yeah.
It's really just a limited card though. Next up is Tome of the Guild Pact. 5 mana artifact. Whenever you cast a multicolor spell, draw a card. Add 1 mana of any color.
I can't see this being used ever. Maybe for limited.
Yeah, it costs a lot for what it does.
Yeah.
It's really cool, but I don't think it's going to do much.
Nope. And of course, now we go into the lands, which is pretty much Guild Gates and the Shock lands. But we'll go through them like Azorius Guild Gate. And then we have the first, of course, is Blood Crypt. It's a Swamp Mountain Shock land. Comes into play unless you pay 2 life. If you don't, it comes into play tapped.
We have Breeding Pool, which is the Forest Island. And it does the same thing. You just pay 2 life or it comes in tapped.
Yep. And they reprinted Gateway Plaza because it is a gate. And it helps with mana fixing. But enters play battlefield tapped. Enters the battlefield sacrifice unless you pay 1. And then it adds 1 mana of any color.
Next up is the Godless Shrine, which is the Plain Swamp, the Orzhov one.
Yep. Next one is a Gruul Gate, red, green, gold gate.
And Hallowed Fountain, which is a Plains Island, which is the Azorius.
And then Orzhov Guild Gate, same, just white, black, tap it.
And then we got Plaza of Harmony, which is a land, and it enters the battlefield. If you control 2 or more gates, you gain 3. Tap, add 1 mana of any type that a gate you control could produce.
It's crazy, it's a rare, so I feel sorry for you if you get this in your pick one. But I don't know, we'll see. The next one, of course, is the Rakdos Guild Gate. Just taps red, black.
And then we got Simic Guild Gates, which is blue-green.
The arts of those are amazing. And then
the final one we got is the Stomping Ground. And it is a mountain forest, which is the Gruul Shockland.
Yep. And with that, that is all. That is the whole good set. It might have seemed like, of course, most Magic sets are just for good old limited, for drafting and sealed and all that. But there are a lot of fun cards in it.
Yeah, this set's going to bring a lot to the new standard. It's going to change a lot of what's going on right now.
Definitely.
And it's going to make some better and some worse.
And with the Shocklands, there's going to be so much variation of whatever decks you ever want to make.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely. With that, we actually talked about a giveaway earlier. And how to do that, there'll be a link below. And then just click on the link and follow the instructions, and you'll be put into how many points for our giveaway.
Yep.
With that, hopefully you enjoyed your stay here at Geektopia Island. Hope you have a good day.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Also, guys, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and if you want to keep up to date on all of our future content, make sure you tap that bell.
And go ahead and check us out on our streams. Don't forget to support us on Patreon. And thank you for staying here on the island.
Later, guys.
Bye.